Hey guys, it's Ash. Today I'm going to be taking you through a mat Pilates flow just using a yoga block. If you've not got a yoga block at home, you should be able to just use a thick book like a dictionary, or most of these exercises you can just do without the block at all. We'll get into our warm-up to start with, just coming down into a comfortable seated position in the center of your mat, leaving your block off to the side to begin with. Sitting up nice and tall, we want to feel our sitting bones pressing down into the earth and lengthening our spine all the way out to the top of our head. Hands can rest on your knees or in your lap, and we'll just start with some lovely big shoulder rolls going backwards. Good, coming back the other direction. Letting all those creaks and crunches out. Relaxing shoulders will turn all the way over that right shoulder and all the way left. Going again, just starting to notice if one side feels a little bit stiffer than the other. Good, as we look over that right shoulder this time, we're going to roll our chin along our chest, drawing the letter U, coming back the other direction. Just the bottom half of your circle. Of the neck. Good. Coming through center here, we'll take a deep breath in, reaching arms up over our head. Exhale breath, left hand to right knee, right arm reaches back behind you, finding that big spinal twist. Coming back through center, deep breath in, reaching up, breathing out, rotating to the other side. Once more, each way, breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, rotating. And second side, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. We'll start by warming up our core. Coming to lay down on your back, take your yoga block with you. We're going to go ahead and place that yoga block in between our knees. We're going to rest our head and palms down in the mat to start with, and we're just going to start by finding a little bit of tummy engagement. So as we squeeze our knees together on the block, can we think about gently drawing belly button to spine, starting to engage our deep core and relax. Good, we'll go again, squeezing on that block. Maybe this time we think about zipping up our jeans, tightening from our pubic bone up towards our belly button. And one more time, starting to find that deep core engagement. Nice, let's add on. We'll start to build into our core sequence from here, maintaining that gentle engagement through our deep core and that gentle squeeze on the block. We're going to float both legs up into tabletop. Fingertips reach to our kneecaps, and on an exhale breath, we crunch up, reaching past our knees. Inhale, breath brings us back down. Good, 9 more times like this. We crunch and exhale. Inhale to lower. We go for 8. For 7. Keep squeezing the block for 6. We come for 5. For 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last one, crunch up and hold your head, neck and shoulders lifted. We can bring our hands to the base of our skull to support our head, maintaining that tummy engagement. Can we tap both toes down to the mat and float back up to tabletop? We go again, toe tap, gentle touch down, floating back up. The further away from you reach those toes, the more challenging this will be on your core. Good, and we go for another 7. Pick that distance, maintaining a neutral spine through your lower back. We've got 5. Good, for 4. Keep breathing for 3. We tap for 2. And last one. Lift and drop it down. Well done. Keep that block in position and just rock and roll those knees from side to side, releasing any tension from your lower back. All right, we started to warm up through our tummy. Now we're going to start to warm up through our glutes. To begin with, we're going to place that block down on the ground underneath our right foot. Left foot stays planted down on the mat, directly next to the block. So feet should be nice and lined up next to each other. From here, starting simple with 10 staggered bridges, I want you to press equal weight through both feet here, squeezing the glutes to lift the hips high, lowering back down. Good, we go for another 9. Big squeeze through both glutes for 8. That's it, we've got support from our tummy on top for 7. That's it, no arching through the spine, 6. Good, we bridge for 5. 4, 3, 2, staying lifted up on 1. Can we extend our left leg up to the sky? Keep it there. Single leg bridge, hips tap all the way down, squeezing through that right glute to come back up for another 9. That's it. We go 8. Reach toes to the sky for 7. 6. We're bridging for 5. Good. 4. Start to feel that right hamstring working. 3. 2. Keeping lifted up tall on 1. Keeping our hips nice and high, we're going to wave that left leg long and low and sweep it back up. Good. For another 9. And lift. Good. For 8. Feeling that right foot press down heavily into the block for 7. Good. Hips stay nice and high for 6. That's it. Feeling hamstring, feeling glute. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Sweep toes to sky, pulsing it out. Push heavily down, footprint into the block for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Dropping it down. Nice work. We'll give that right glute a little stretch. So right ankle crosses over left knee. And then we reach through that gap, drawing the legs in nice and close towards the body. Perhaps as a little rock and roll from side to side. And when you're ready, we'll go straight onto that second side. So scoot your block over. We're going to bring our left foot onto the block this time, right foot down on the ground next to it. And we'll start with those 10 nice easy bridges. Equal weight through both feet for another 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. Both glutes working here. 3. 2. And 1. Keep it up. Right leg extends up to the sky. Single leg bridges. We lower hips down with control. Squeeze through that glute to lift back up. Lower and squeeze. We've got 8. That's it. 7. Squeezing from the bottom of that butt cheek, we go 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Hips stay up high on 1. Waving our right leg, lowering down low. Sweeping up high, solid through that supporting glute. No wobbles on our left leg, we go 8. Sweep for 7. We wave for 6. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Toes stay up to the sky, pulsing out through that glute. Big squeeze on that left side just for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good work. Coming on down. Stretching out that second side, left ankle over right knee. Reaching through the hole, drawing those legs in close towards our belly. Whew, glutes are nice and toasty now, nice and warmed up, hopefully. Very good. Alrighty, from here, we're coming back to our tummy for a moment. This time, we're going to find our tabletop position with our legs again. So 90-degree bend, knees stacked on top of our hips. And we're going to go ahead and balance our block on top of our shins. From here, we're going to come down long and reach our arms long over our head. Taking a breath in to prepare. On our exhale, we're going to reach forwards and up. Take a hold of that block in between your hands and then lay back down, take it over your head. Exhale, breath, crunch up. Inhale, breath, lower down. A little bit of a balancing act here. Grab the block, length overhead. Balance the block, laying flat. We'll go for 6. Make it harder in a second. For 5. Good, focus on the movement of those ribs towards your pelvis for 4. We go 3, 2, and 1. Here comes the add-on. Can you balance that block on your legs? Keep your head lifted as you reach long and low through the legs. Drawing back in, grab the block, send it long. Crunching up, reaching long, grab the block, extend the legs. We go for 8. Reach with control. And return for 7. Working through that full combo for each rep. Good. We find 6. Length through the front body. Beautiful control. Last 5. Hold strong. Good job. Almost there. We go 4. Lengthening out. That's it. Return for 3. Reach long. Good. Last 2. Lengthen it out. Here it comes. Last 1. Can we keep that block balance on our shins? Holding in our dish for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab your block. Drop your feet down and rock those legs from side to side. Whew, that one's a tricky one. Shaky, challenging, and a fun way to play around with that block, I think. Nice. From here, we'll make our way up. We're going to flip over onto all 4s. Just leave that block underneath you for a moment and we'll take a quick cat-cow just to release through our spine. On that inhale breath, we tuck tailbone to floor, rounding chin to chest. On that exhale breath, let those ribs poke out, eyes lift up. We go again. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more times. Last one. Lovely. We're going to come back to some glute work next. We're going to come back to some glute work next. That block is going to go underneath your left knee. Make sure you tuck your left toes under so you're nice and stable. From here, we're going to be working our right leg. It's going to be moving in and out. I want you to find engagement through your tummy, equal weight through both hands in the mat with your fingers spread out wide. And I want you to hover your right knee so it's up in line with that left knee on top of the block. So pelvis is nice and level. From here, we're going to lengthen that leg out, keep that back nice and flat, scoop it back in, floating up above the mat. Reach that leg back, returning it in. We'll go 8 more times here. I want you to imagine that you've got a block balanced on your pelvis so you can't rock and roll from side to side. Last 7, tummy tight for 6. Good. 5, 4, 3, make sure one hand isn't heavier than the other, for 2, keep the leg out straight on 1. We're gonna find our little crisscross. Can we cross behind that leg on the block and then sweep around towards the front of the room? Crossing behind, drawing the biggest circle you can with your toes. We'll go for 8 and sweep. We come for 7. That's it. 6 and sweep. Last 5. Long leg for 4. Here we go. 3, sweep, 2. Last 1. Keep your leg long, point to the side of the room. We're going to tap big toe to floor, pinky toe to sky, big toe to floor. That's your pattern for 8. Lift. 7. Good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Holding it up on 1. Static hold. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Ooh, good work. Take that block out in front of you. We'll drop back into our child's pose, resting both hands on top of that block just to find a deeper stretch through the front of the shoulders. Really think about lengthening underneath that armpit as we let our chest press down towards the mat in between our knees. Alrighty, keeping that block out in front, we're going to continue on with our glute work. Still going to be moving on that same leg, our right hand side. From here, we're going to have both hands resting on top of the block, and we're going to find that extension just like we did before with our right leg reaching backwards. Here comes the flow. We're going to sweep all the way forwards, plant your foot so your arch is next to the block. From here, we're going to reach up, finding our kneeling position, and then just hover that back knee up off the mat. Coming all the way back down, unwinding to that kick back. That's the movement. We'll go 10 times like this. Step forwards, reach up, hover the knee, come all the way back down. Let's go for 9 and float for a moment. Good control. Reach it back for 8. Good. And reach. We go 7. Float. Nice control. For 6. Float, balancing here. Find those stabilizers. For 5. Float. Good. Last 4. Make sure your ribs aren't poking out in that kneel position. Good. Another 3. Float. Send it back. For 2. Float. Extend. Last 1. Can we hold it here? That back knee is nice and close towards the mat. Just finding your tricep extension. Elbows stay tight by your ears. Squeezing in on that block for 8. Stay low for 7. We go 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Straighten arms, pulse the legs nice and low for 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Drop it down. Whew, leave that block in front of you. We'll go ahead and stretch out through our thighs, just leaning back as far as you need to feel that stretch. You can come right back if you need to catch your breath before we go to the other side here. How am I for time? All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into our second side here. So setting back up in our 4-point kneel. This time around, the block's gonna come underneath your right knee. Just make sure it's on the other side. And we're gonna be working with our left leg. Left leg is moving. From here, hands heavy in the mat, fingers spread wide. We wanna hover, toes tucked under, very important. We wanna hover our left knee up off the ground so it's in line with our right knee. Imagining we've got one of our blocks balanced on our pelvis so we don't rock around too much. Starting with 10 lovely, slow, controlled kickbacks. Reaching long for 10. Good, we go for 9. Nothing else should move for 8. 7. 6. Keep it controlled for 5. Squeezing from lower glute. 4. 3. 2. Legs stay straight on 1. From here we crisscross behind and lengthen, sweep around to the side. We go for 9 and reach. Good for 8. Reach. 7. 6. We go 5. I'm dangerously close to my wall here for 4. We go 3. 2. Last one, hold the leg out. Let me give myself a little bit more space so I can keep going here. We're gonna tap big toe to floor, pinky toe to sky. Lower, and lift for 8. We go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, static, hold that leg up on 1, nice and high for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, dropping down. Place that block out in front of you and stretching out into that child's pose for a moment. Hands on top of the block, chest pressing down between your knees. All right, guys, from here, let's get into that lunge component of this sequence. Hands will stay up on top of the block, nice and heavy. Our left leg is still our moving leg, and I'll show you once slowly as a reminder. It's our kickback, same as before, stepping the arch of the left foot next to the block. We're gonna reach block up overhead and just take that hover of the back knee. Reverse, back to the start. 10 times like this, plant, hover, lower down. Good, we go for 9. Find that hover and drop. Good, another 8. Lift and drop. We find 7. Hover, good. Extend for 6. Hover, drop. Last 5. Hover. Good control. For 4. That's it. Last 3. Hover. Extend. Last 2. Hover. Last 1. We're going to hold that lunge, back knee just above the mat. Tricep extensions over your head. Squeeze hands in on the block. We go for 8. Stay low for 7. We find 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last 1, elbow straight, pulse it out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Drop it down. Whew, quads are working. Let's take that same stretch as before, just leaning back, stretching out our quads and catching our breath again. Time. All right, guys, time for a bit more upper body work. We're going to go ahead and rotate our block long ways, portrait, if that makes sense to you. So it's running along our mat. And we're going to do 2 rounds of this next set. We're going to start with a little bit of a push-up variation, and you've got 3 levels that you might choose from. The first one is staying in this 4-point kneel position. You're going to have one hand on the block, one hand down on the ground. Keeping your hips on top of your knees, we're going to find a lovely wide elbow push-up with your nose coming down right in between your pointer fingers. For this one, we're going to be coming over to one side and then over to the other side. It'll look a little something like this. If that feels really easy for you, your second level is going to be into your half plank position. So knees slightly further back. We drop our hips forward, so we're holding strong in our half plank, and then you'll find your push up here, nose slightly in front of your hands, and then we swap sides. Good. And then our third option is going to be up on our toes. If you feel like you can do that, give it a go. Just want to do a couple and then change it up halfway through. Be my guest, it's your workout in your own home. So that would look something like this, coming for that full push up, swapping sides, and over to the other side. I'll show you the level 1 and the level 2 variation today. When you're ready, get set up. We're gonna do 10 in total, so 5 each side of our block. And I'm gonna start over on my right-hand side here. Let's get into it. We'll go for 10, swap for 9. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. In between our push-ups, that block's going to come in between our knees, finding our 4-point knee with the toes tucked under. Little squeeze on the block, draw in of the tummy, we hover, and just tap the ground. Hover and tap for 8. 7, getting harder in a sec, don't worry. 6, keep a little angry cat for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send it all the way back to your downward dog. Drop the knees forwards, knee hover. Downward dog, knee hover. We go for 8. And drop. Strong shoulders for 7. And drop. 6. We go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it back. We're going to come all the way forwards to plank, then push all the way back, bottom towards heels. Shoot forwards to find plank, bottom to heels. We go 8. Do not drop your block for 7. Strong squeeze in for 6. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There it is. Come on down, give those wrists a moment, and then we'll get into the second round of that push-up sequence. All right, let's get into round 2. Placing that block portrait ways down your mat, and we'll set up for those push-ups. This time I'll come into my half plank to demonstrate. We've got 10, let's do it. 10, swap sides. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hui, hard work. Let's put that block in between our knees and we'll do that same round of core work. Toes tucked under, inner thighs squeezing in on that block, knee hovers for 10. Think about your tummy lifting up. 9, like I'm picking you up by the back of your t-shirt for 8, 7, strong shoulders here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We send it all the way back to downward dog. Hover the knees. Good for 9. Enjoy that stretch up the back of the legs before we tap. For 7. We go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Final round. We come forwards to plank, bottom to heels. Forwards to plank, bottom to heels for 8. Find the rhythm. 7. Keep breathing for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold your plank on 1. Strong shoulders. Send your heels back to the end of your mat. Tummy lifts away from the earth. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find that child's pose again, using your block if you like. Catching your breath. Well done. That was a strong little sequence. Alrighty, just while we're catching our breath, we're gonna have a little bit of an extra stretch here. Go ahead and shuffle your knees back and we'll find a happy puppy stretch. So with your hips stacked on top of your knees, just like in your child's pose, you're gonna let your chest drop down. Put a little extra room to extend through your thoracic spine here. Nice big stretch out. Try to continue to take full, deep breaths. If that's not for you, but you'd still like to progress in your child's pose, instead of forehead on the earth, you might lift your chin onto the earth or eyes just looking forwards towards your thumbs. We're going to go ahead and find a little shoulder stretch as well. So we'll go ahead and place our right hand down on the ground next to the mat. And then we're just going to turn to the side. So we're finding a lengthening stretch through our lats on that hand that's still on the block. If you need a bit more, shuffle your knees back so you can really lean into it. Good, and swapping hands. Right hand on the block, left hand to the side. Really try and sink that outer wing of your shoulder blade down towards the earth. Go ahead and swap back to that first side. Find a little thread the needle, reaching up. Good, reaching underneath that arm and holding here. Can you peer up underneath that left armpit and press heavily with the back of your right hand down into the ground once you've reached through. Same thing on the other side, right hand to block, left hand sweeps underneath, look underneath that arm, press heavily down through the back of that left hand. Lovely big mid-back twist here. Unwinding. All right, we're coming to our last series of class. We are going to be doing a standing squat and lunge series, so fair warning, and then you've made it all the way to the end. We'll go ahead and reset our block back into that portrait mode, long ways down your mat, and then standing all the way up for me. To start with, we're going to have our right foot down on the mat next to the block, and our whole left foot planted on top of the block, just like this. From here, nice and simple, we're just going to find our squats. Try to have equal pressure through both feet for 10. Coming back up, good, for 9. Low hips for 8. 7. Don't forget to press through both feet. 5. 4. 3. 2. We'll stay low on 1. Hands to hips. Can we shift all of our weight across into that left foot on the block? And then we'll start to find those scooters. Very, very light taps of the right toe down on the mat. Let's go 10. Gentle tap, 9. 8. Good, 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Hold that leg back on 1. From here, hands reach forwards to the block. We're going to hinge for our tippy bird, and then coming all the way back up. Heavy through that right foot hinge. Standing up, 9 to go. Can you think about sending that sitting bone up and back, squeezing your glute to lift up? For 7. Lift long spine for 6. Good. 5. You got it. 4. Think about that footprint on the block. 3. 2. And 1. Glute is on, quad is on. Take those hands to prayer. Keep leaning forward like we're peering off the front of our mat. We're going to rotate towards that leg. Right elbow, left knee. Back through center. Twist. And return. Only for 8. Nothing on the end here. 7. Last exercise of this series. 6. Twist for 5. Oh, that glute is on. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Whew. Stand on up. Mamma mia. Glute is burning. Quads are burning. Have a little shake out for yourself. And then we will do that one last time on the second side. All right, let's get it over and done with. Second leg. I'm just going to scoot my block back just a fraction. This time, just make sure it's the other leg to before, so it should be right foot on top of the block, left foot planted right next to it down on the mat, straight into our squats for 10. Good. 9. Equal weight in both feet. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Stay low on 1. Hands to hips, shift your weight into that right foot on top of the block. Scooter out. and in. Light tap of the toes. We go 10. Good, 9. Think about tapping right next to the block. 8. Good, 7. Long spine peering off the front. For 5. 4. Little lower if you can. 3. 2. Keep your back leg out straight. On 1. Fingertips reach long. We hinge forwards, chest towards thigh. Squeeze glute to lift back up. Find that hinge and squeeze. Good, we'll go for 8. Lift, good, legs stay the same shape. 7. Just bowing out the hip crease for 6. Good, 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Lifting up, finding that diagonal line from head to heel. Hands come to prayer and we rotate towards the leg and return. Left elbow to right knee. Come back. Last 8. Good. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Almost there. 2. Whoa. And last one. Oh, you almost lost me right at the end of that sequence. Go ahead and shake out your legs. Well done. And when we're ready, coming into our cool down, we're going to drop back down and just find a little stretch, keeping this block out in front of you. If you'd like to use it, it'll just make these stretches a little bit more intense. If you're feeling quite tight, just move the block out to the side from here on out. I'm going to bring my left foot up on top of the block and then carefully dropping forwards into my hip flexor stretch here, finding length up the front of that back hip. Slowing down our breathing. Sending our hips back, and we peel the toes up. That block will just deepen that stretch down the back of your left leg. If it's not for you, just get rid of the block. We go again, shifting forwards, lifting up, big stretch. And shifting backwards, peeling the toes back towards the shin. Good, let's swap those legs over. Right foot comes on top of the block. Shifting weight forwards, finding that stretch up the front of that back hip. Send your weight backwards, peeling toes off the block. That long stretch up the back of the right leg. We'll go again, coming forwards, lifting up. And shifting backwards. Lovely. Leaving that block off to the side. We'll come back to the same seated position we had at the start of class. Sitting bones heavy into the earth, lengthening the spine bottom to top, starting to roll those shoulders backwards again. Good, rolling forwards. See if you can interlace your fingers behind your back. Pull those shoulders apart, chest open. A little sway from side to side. And finally, just our neck, how we started. Rotating all the way to the right, all the way left. Hopefully feeling a bit warmer than when we first did this at the very beginning. Looking right, drawing U shape. And take it back. One more time. And return. Nice. That is the end of that mat flow for you today, guys. Hope you got as sweaty as I did. If you like that flow, hit the subscribe button down below for me, and I'll see you in the next workout. Bye-bye.